Okay, planning comes in three flavors, kind of. You have the big romantic type of planning we always think about that happens with the CEO and the board of directors and the executive staff. Strategic planning, which is the longest range, it's talking about 5 and 10 and 20 years from now. What businesses will we be in and what will the competitive landscape look like? And you have a class called Capstone where you'll be doing that kind of strategic planning. It's the highest level because it includes, all the implications for marketing and finance and economics and the economics, outside economics of not just the industry, but the whole world, making projections, and can be as complex as it gets. So there's strategic planning, and then there's tactical planning. How will we, maybe for the next 2 to 5 years, accomplish some of what the strategic plan wants us to accomplish? Tactical. And then, and operational. How will each of the functional areas accomplish what they need to do to accomplish the tactical plans? So operational plans lead into tactical plans lead into the strategic plan for the organization, and that's how we succeed in the long run. So strategic plans, the thing about that is that we can't tell everyone the full strategic plan for our organizations. We don't put it on the internet. We don't want our competitors to know it. So in order to avoid our competitors knowing it, only the board and executive staff know the full strategic plan. If we were going to open up in our marketplace and get into some new product development, no one knew it. We're going to start selling, noise canceling headsets or something like that. If Bose knew we were going to do it, and they knew what kind of they could learn what kind of technology we were going to use to do it, they could trump us. They could develop that technology ahead of us and beat us to market and ruin our strategic plans. So we can't share everything about the strategic plan with everyone in our organization. And that is a challenge for us because we want everyone in our organization to know at every level what we're trying to accomplish, so that when they make decisions and when they engage in planning, they can always make plans that are fruitful for our long-term strategic plan. So how do we do that? People at the highest level who have access to the strategic plan, they code or disseminate or repackage portions of the strategic plan, and they pass that down to one level lower. So the executives in charge of functional areas or managers in charge of functional areas, but they don't tell someone in finance everything about the marketing plans. They don't need to know everything about marketing plans. They just need to know what the goals for the finance department are, or the accounting department, or the production department. So those are incomplete components of what is the full strategic plan, known only by the highest level men and women in the organization. And then there's information by functional area, for instance, at a lower level. And then people within the finance department, not everyone in the finance department needs to know everything about the overall operational objectives for the finance department for the next 10 years. It's not their business, and it's not productive for them to be concerned with that. So the director of finance or the manager in charge of finance needs to then think of ways to write up the strategic plan for people at the level below him. And so by the time you get down to someone working in one of your stores as a cashier or stocking shelves, they don't have a whole lot of information about what the organization is and where it's going. So what you rely on is really the vision and mission of the organization, which is public to everyone inside and outside the organization. That component of culture, which we've talked about in a previous chapter, need to emanate everywhere, need to be visible. If your key to success is focus on customer needs, wants, and desires and satisfaction, then that needs to go all the way down to the very bottom of the organization's hierarchy so that everyone can work to pursue that. So the point here is that planning happens at various levels for good reason. It gets regurgitated, but not just regurgitated, it gets repackaged for lower levels in the organization. And wherever you or I are in the organization, our goal as a good employee is to understand what we're supposed to know Like if I'm a line manager somewhere or a team leader or something like that, an organization, I need to know what does the organization intend for me to know and to act on to be effective as a team leader. And this team effectiveness that I'm a part of, it is going to contribute to the overall strategic vision, mission, and strategic plan of the organization. I don't know it all, but I can learn and look and learn and listen to what's going on and ask questions and know as much as I can. Because the more I know, the more I can happen to hear and so forth, the more I can equip myself to meet the needs of the organization at the level I currently am. And then, of course, I want to be prepared to take my boss's job. So the more I know about my boss's job and the functional goals for our whole organization, the better equipped I am. I hope that makes sense. I'm rambling a little bit, but I'm trying to just sort of talk about a big systemic thing that happens. So organizational planning happens at those three levels, and wherever we are in it, we need to be able to connect what we're doing with the overall highest level strategic plan in the organization, but we won't have that full information. Thanks.